This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So before we get into the product, we are going to see, like prerequisites for Mongo. Like, this product is a multi-platform, like compatible. It can run on Windows platform. It can run on all Unix flavors distributions, and it can run on Mac OS. It can run on all platforms basically. So that's where I'm going to pick up, I'm going to pick up all the platforms for this product. First, I'll cover the Unix flavors because this is where it runs. Okay. So Linux Unix flavors are actually, we have a lot of Unix flavors in the market. Unix is an open source program, like an open source operating system which is developed by someone. So everybody, open source, everybody can pick up and then do the extra additional developments, and they can sell it off. Like if you talk about, Red Hat has its own enterprise version. Along with it, they have their CentOS free operating system. And Red Hat, Linux enterprise version is something, you have to pay for the licensing every year or monthly basis based on the licensing model what they are imposing. And if you look at Amazon Linux, you have Ubuntu, you have even Microsoft also is trying to release one Linux platform called Mux. So many people are trying to introduce their own distributions on top of the Unix. Unix is a mother of all these distributions. All operating systems, the distributions of Unix coming from the Unix itself. So the basic interactive commands are always same in all distributions because they are follow the Unix underlying Unix, operating system in all distributions. So in our environment, we have CentOS and all community editions are running CentOS, and we have some enterprise Linux enterprise as well for Mongo enterprise version, because enterprise version is not a buggy product. It has a lot of features enabled at OS level as well. So it all matters, guys. Mongo is actually, most of the people do run on the Linux platforms, like Unix platforms, Unix family platforms, not on the Windows. The reason behind is the Windows itself is a performance culprit first. If Windows catch up 100% of CPU and memory, you cannot do anything. You have to definitely reboot the system. So rebooting the live system all the time is not acceptable. That is the reason, if it is Linux platform, even if it is catching 100%, you kill some sessions, it release the resources and it will back come to the back, it will come back with a normal, functioning kind of. You don't need to reboot. So that is something not good for the, restarting and recovering the machine status, all that. So we definitely have to, Unix is also code based. It does not take a lot of resources. That is also another reason why people are showing interest to run this product on the Unix platform, or Unix family platforms basically. So I'm going to run one CentOS machine. I have the CentOS machine, guys. You don't need to worry about it. I'm going to send a link where you have the machine copy. Okay, I have picked up the clone of that machine. You just have to download this, and you have to download and install the VMware tool. I have given the VMware tool also. First, install the VMware tool and download and unzip it. And when you're installing the VMware, it will ask the keys basically. I kept the VMware keys as well as the mobile external. There is a tool. I'm going to use this tool. This tool is so helpful for us basically as an admin, because on a single server you can open multiple sessions. You can work parallelly on hundreds of servers at the same time using this tool. Putty is very limited, small tool. That's not too good to work with the enterprise clients. Why? Because we had to work on multiple servers at a time. So you cannot open multiple sessions. Each putty you have to open. One session for each machine connection. You have to open the putty and then connect. Kind of. That's a useless. This is one of the good tool. MobiXM. We'll call it as MobiXM. I've given that setup also. It's associated keys. So everything is there. You don't need to do anything after this clash. It's showing audio not available. Come on, why is she struggling? Audio not available, which means her machine laptop issue. Just a minute, guys. 1 minute, I'll guide her. Use. Sorry. So try to follow this, guys. I mean, I'm going to talk about next how do we use this kind of. I have the document for this. I'm going to talk about very limited commands every day because some of the people are completely from the non-Linux background. So I'm going to explain in detail of it. Everybody would follow definitely. No need to worry. Just to be regular to the class, you get to know, in detail of it. If you have some issues, we'll connect one on one and fix it. When it in the beginning days, you see, you cannot load the OS. Sometimes it happens on your laptop, so we're going to see that issues if you face it. So what you need to do, I'm going to share this class, this link after the class. Download the VMware, download all these five, like what you see here, folders. First, install the VMware tool. This is a tool, and then this is download it and extract it. Okay, extract it. Once it is extracted, how do you connect? So let me show that. So I have my machines somewhere, I guess. Where did I kept the Linux? Okay, not here. Just a minute. I'll show you how it looks like so that you get an idea exactly. On-prem. Where did I keep this? Linux VMs, right? Here it is. So I uploaded this one. Once you extract, this will become like this. So once it becomes like this, you'll see a lot of files like this. So now if I wanted to pick up this file, I have installed the VMware. The VMware is also given in the link, the VMware tool given in the link. You have to install that tool. So I installed it. Just you have to install. When you're installing, it will ask a key. Key is also kept in the share. Okay. So then, example, I'm taking out of this. I'm removing this. It is not there in my list right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go file and open. There is an open option is given. Click on this and then browse the file where it is right now. So it is in data Linux VM and the Linux 02, and you get this option. Only one file you'll get like this. Click on that and then open it. It is going to load that machine from there. It's taking time. So anyway, if you run into any issues, we'll connect one-on-one. I'll give it time to everyone in the initial days as you are from non-Linux background. So you need a little, suggestions or push up in the beginning. So if you cannot mount this software, we will connect one-on-one 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll close the issue with everyone. That usually required because some people don't know how to launch these tools kind of. Anyway, just try to follow. We will connect about the environment. How do we prepare how do you get the environment to practice? Everything is ready made. You just have to do few things. I'll connect with one-on-one and then make you work things with you all. Okay, that will be there. I'll give a time to everyone, no need to worry. So now this is my Linux machine. Okay, it's CentOS machine. So I'm going to connect to this one using Ravinder. This is my account. It is connected without asking the password. The tool actually, when you connect for the first time, it'll ask you, do you want it to cache your password for this machine? Yes, if you say, every time you connect using that particular user, it won't ask the password. Okay. So in Linux, if you are entered a lot of commands, example, lot of commands you entered, and then screen is full, then you just run small command called clear. If you clear it out, even in the command prompt also you run the clear, it will clear the screen. Generally, this is normal command anyway. It will clear the screen. Then let's come to the slides. No need to worry, guys. I'm going to go very slow and I'm going to explain see, we no need to become a pro on the Linux to work on the Linux side background. You just need to know what is required from the product point of view. How do you create the directories? How do you create the files? How do you read the files? How do you move the files basically? How do you manage the permissions on the files basically? How do you create a user? So how do you give the permissions to the user? So we're going to see all that in that direction. And how do you install the product? How do you troubleshoot basically? These are all enough. We don't need to know in detail of the operating system. We only need to know a certain extent, because yeah, I'm working since long. I even don't know a lot of things at OS level. I don't need basically as a product guy, and I'm not OS admin. I'm the product admin. So from the product point of view, how much of knowledge you need it, I'm going to give you as ready-made. Just follow, try to follow it. So see, what is Unix command? A command is an instruction given by a user telling a computer to do something. So based on the command you supply to the system, it will do based on the command what you're giving it to the system. It is an instruction to the system, and then it will give you an output to you. Basically, that is what is a command, Unix command. So let's do the one by one basically. So PWD means present working directory. It is saying that present working directory where I am connected to. I am entering to the machine, but where I am, in which directory right now. If it is a Windows, I know where I am right now. D data Linux VM. So it is showing all of this. In the Linux, it won't show you like that. You definitely have to run this command to see where you are connected. It won't show you by default. So this is very, very important to know where you are connected right now. Based on that, we do the operations basically. So I'm into home Ravinder folder. So home is something in the Linux is a common for every user who connected to the machine. See, if it is a Windows, whoever connect to the machine, their user profile will get loaded into C users. If anyone is connected to your machine, their profile will be loaded into your user folder by default. See user folder, you'll find their details basically. So here in the Linux also, the home directory is for every user whoever connected to the machine, their profile will get loaded. Let's go inside the home directory. So CD means call directory or change directory. People do say multiple things, but here CD means call directory or change directory. Anything you can say. So I'm trying to enter into the home directory, only home directory, to see how many people are connected. If you see here, I went into the C drive, I went into the users. There are 3 people connected to the my machine basically. 3 users are local users are also. If you create a local user also, it will create a folder there automatically. So now I'm going to the CD means call directory or change directory. So I'm going inside the home directory, not Ravinder. Only till this point I wanted to browse. So CD home, inside in it, if I look at here, there are these many people are connected or these many people users exist in the local machine. Two cases. If you are coming through the group account will not load here. Whoever connecting from the group account, their folder will get created by default when they connected to the machine. So example, I'm creating a user, just assume a case. So I'm creating the machine. I'm creating the user. Who can create a user basically? In Windows also, only administrators can create the local users. Not all. Not all the people can create the users on the machine. Administrator. In the Linux, we'll call the administrator as sudo. Sudo can create or do anything on the machine. Administrator in the Windows, if you wanted to install some product or something, you need administrative privileges. Then only you can install the product. Without the administrative privilege, you cannot do it. Same in the Linux also. If you wanted to install, if you wanted to manage something, you should be part of the sudo group. Sudo means administrator in the Linux. In the Windows, we'll call it administrator. In Linux, it is called as a sudo. That's it. So now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a user quickly, just to show that if I create a user, the folder will get added to the home directory. So where I am right now, if you see, I am under home directory. This is a default directory for every user by default. If you connect to the Linux machine, home slash your username, and that is where you land into. That is where you log into by default, and you don't do anything much under your profile generally, but you can do anything that you wanted under your profile. There is no restriction applied to you because under your home directory you can do anything. You can create directories, files, and everything. But when you move to out of your home directory, you cannot do anything. So slowly try to understand. See, PWD means checking the present working directory, and CD means call directory, from which directory you wanted to move, you can check it out. And LSF in LS means listing the files basically. LSF in L, long listing the files. So this is also one by one I'll go through anyway. So LS, if I just give LS, it is giving all the files and directories. It is not giving the details. If I need the details, LSF in L, this will give you more details. Like, is it a directory and what are the permissions are there on the directory? And if you look at this, who has the permissions and the group, which group has the permission on the directory again, and what is size of this, and when it is modified on the last kind of. right? So now I'm going to create quickly one user, guys. So to create a user, I just need example without a sudo, without admin. If I'm not referring, I cannot create user add. There is a small command, user add example. I'm creating a user called Biren. Just assume a case. Permission denied. So my account is part of the sudo group, like a administrative group, but still you cannot create if you are not referring to your sudo permissions. You have to definitely do sudo user add. Okay, Biren. Just I'm adding that. If I do this, it will create the user. And if it is actually verifying, am I admin or not? See, when I'm referring to sudo, it is not blindly doing it. Are you really part of the sudo group? Enter your permission. It will verify that sudo file in the etc. If you are there, then it is going to execute the command. So I'm giving my password. And if you go and see where I'm right now, into my home directory, lsf in L, if you see Biren folder got created. I did not create it. I just created a user. The user folder created automatically. Why? Because every person who if you create a local user, each folder will be created automatically. In some distributions, it won't create. When you have to log in at least once, then it will create the folder. So by default, every user will have their home directory. Every user will have home directory. Under home directory, they can do anything, absolutely anything. But if they go out of the home directory, see, if I where I am right now under home directory, my current this complete it is a home directory for everyone. Who is this session actually belong to? Like Ravinder. If you don't know who is connected, who I am I? This is a command will tell you who are connected to the machine. Ravinder. Anyway, you don't need to run this command. The username will be displayed in the session itself. Ravinder at the rate Linux 01, which means that you connected to Linux 01 server and Ravinder is connected like that. So the session itself will tell you who is connected to this machine. I mean, you forgot yourself example case, like we can use multiple accounts to connect to the Linux basically, because service accounts, we do have some generic accounts, all that. So which with what account you connected to. So you use this thing like, who is connected and to which machine you connected. So if you wanted to know the machine name also, you use the host name. Sorry, host name. If I run this, it will give the mesh name. If I use the who am I, it is giving the username. So you have everything, all commands you have. Slowly we'll get familiarized each one. We are talking only about the PWD for now. Only PWD and ls. Two commands we are going to talk about. So if I see I'm under home directory. So if I go to Ravinder, this is what my home directory basically. CD Ravinder. See, if I give it, call directory, I'm giving RA. That's it. I'm hitting tab. It is resolving the name. It is resolving the directory. How it is resolving in Linux, if you give one or two words, whatever the folders are matching with that name, it will automatically resolve the folder names when you hit tab. Enter, type few letters, and whatever the folders are matching with that letters, it will display all the folders. Anyway, I'll show it. So now where I am right now, into my home directory. What is the command to clear the screen if I wanted to clear? It became clear now. PWD. This is my home directory. If I check my home directory, what are the files I have in my home directory? These many files I have. And if you see, are these files or directories? How do I identify? This is D. Whatever is starting with the D is a directory. Whatever is starting with the D is a directory. Whatever is starting with the hyphen is a file here. It is a readable. You can read this file basically. You can browse this directory. Directories are browsable and the files are readable. That's what even in the Windows also. If it is a directory, you go inside in it. If it is a file, you read it there only, right? It will not let you to go inside it. That is not a directory to go inside in it. It's just a file. It will open and show you the content. If it is a directory, you can enter into it. The same thing here also. If this is hyphen, whatever is starting with hyphen, it is a file. Whatever is starting with the D, this is a directory. And you see these next things, these are all permissions associated with the directory or file. What are the permissions? How do you give the permissions? How do you own the directories? Something is the next class. Tomorrow class I'll pick up permissions and directories, all that. Not today. And who is who is owner of this file, what is a group, this is a group, what is the permissions group has. That's something we're going to see. And last, modified date, the file directory, if I'm accessing now, it will write today's date with that directory, who is done what on the directory at what time, something it will trace kind of in the internally. So someone have a question? Okay. So the see, LSFNL is giving you a lot of complete files details. It is not, see, if LSFN just ls, if it is listing the files, it is giving the names of the files. No, I wanted associated details of each file. So LSFNL will give you more details about the each file. LSFNL long listing, we'll call it as long listing basically. So now LSFN LA, there is something called A. If you are giving that hidden files, there are a lot of hidden files. Intentionally, people create the hidden files. The hidden file will start with a dot. See, see, previously when I was checking LSFNL, only there were these many directories. Now there are more directories because I have used ls-la. A is something required to read the hidden files. See, see, hidden files are like this. So some people do create the hidden files intentionally. Why? Because every people don't read lsf in la most of the time, lsf in l itself. My file is so secure, I don't want to like show to everyone. I'll create a hidden directory. I'll load my data inside the hidden directories. It is possible to create hidden directory. So example, mkdir, just let me show this. Clear the screen. I'm into my home directory, lsf and l. These are the directories we have. I'm creating a directory. I don't need a sudo because I'm inside my directory where I'm doing now. So I wanted to create one folder called test, not dot test. So it is created. If I go and see it here, it is not showing the test folder. It is the folder. mkdir means make directory. Make directory. It is created, but it is not showing. It is hidden directory. If I wanted to read that ls-la, I have to supply. Then I'll find the test directory. So if you see, definitely it is there. See, this is where the test directory is sitting. So if you really wanted to hide your data and any of the directory, you can create the hidden directories and keep your data. And you know that you created it. Generally, we don't read the hidden directories in the real world. LSF and L only we use it. This is what we read most of the time, 99%. LSF in LA, sometimes, like there is a lot of space, eating by the files. And then some files won't show up because they are hidden. Then we will read LSF in LA and to see is there any hidden files are taking the storage on the machine kind of. That time we will see. Generally, we don't read any hidden files anyway, most of the time. That's why some people do create the directories with the hidden directories or hidden files, something like that. So this is about the PWT. And one more thing, guys. So I'm inside my home directory. I can create directories if I wanted. So mkdir is a command to create the directories. Data, log, tempdb. So this is SQL data, SQL log, SQL temp, something kind of. Just I'm keeping it. mkdir, 3 directories I'm creating. It will create. It will create without asking anything. No permissions required. If you see data, there is a data and log and temp. 3 folders got created now. Okay, 3 folders got created with this command. I wanted to create empty file. Empty file means touch file 1, file 2. Just I'm showing you that you can do anything under your home directory. You can do anything. So you created 2 files, file 1 and file 2. So you can create directories, you can create files and everything. But when I go out of my home directory, I cannot. That you need to know. So if you wanted to see what are the file system exist on the machine, df-h, if you give it, so there are file systems. We can create our own directories, own disks. See, in Windows, we'll call the drives actually. Okay, C drive, D drive, and E drive. In the Linux, we'll call it as the file systems. You can mount the file systems, based on the requirement. Generally, in Linux, we create like the Windows only. Like your product you're running, you need one data directory or data file system, one log file system, basically. So how do you create our own file system is separate topic. We have a discussion. I'm going to talk about that. We can mount like a lot of file systems and work with that. We're going to see that in the further sessions, not now. So if I look at here, these are all different file systems. You see SDA5, SDA1, SDA2, and SDA3 something kind of. And each file system storage also it is displaying. If you look at 3.5 GB is there, out of which available is 6.6 GB, sorry, 10 GB it is, out of which 3.5 GB is used, 6.6 GB is available at the moment. So now if you see, I'll go inside this var directory. Var directory. These are system defined directories you don't use for any installations. There are many reasons, like why it is created multiple file systems in the background. We'll talk about that. For now, if where I am right now, I entered into the var directory. It is not my home directory. I'm not under my home directory. If I go and see, there are these many files. If I'm trying to create a directory here, if I'm trying to create a directory here called MongoDB, assume I guess I'm trying to create, oh, we have the MongoDB, maybe MongoDB 10 directory. If I run this, it will give a issue like, permission denied. Why it is giving permission denied? I was able to create the directories under my home directory without issues. Where? See here, mkdir data log temp, and it is executed. You can see this data and log and temp all, and you can see the files also got created. But why not here? Why not here? Because you are not under your home directory. You're out of your home directory. So now I had to refer my permissions. I had to refer my sudo permissions. If you have a sudo permissions, you can go to any directory, any user directory. You can do anything anywhere. That is a super permissions. See, sudo is equivalent to almost a root, basically. Why? Because sudo can do 99% of the tasks the root can do, basically. Just a minute. Marvin, these are absolutely basics. Maybe you are aware of, but just these people don't know. So I had to bring up everyone to the same page. That's why I'm discussing all of this. So now, if I wanted to create a MongoDB 10 directory, I had to call my sudo. Sudo means I'm telling to the system I am an admin. Refer my details and then create the directory. I had the privileges. My account is part of the sudo or group. Check my account and create the directory. What I'm asking. Don't give me the permission issue kind of thing. mkdir MongoDB 10. Someone is not on mute actually. Who's that? Okay. Biren, you're not on mute. Yeah. If you have a question, just let me know. So just try to follow. This is minimum knowledge we need to have to work with the product. Anyway, it will work on the Windows as well. Some people do run the environment on the Windows as well. I'm going to cover this product on the Linux Windows platform also. No need to worry about that. First, let's familiarize with this Linux, especially because most of the people do run this product on the Linux because of the performance issue, because of you don't need to reboot multiple times like Windows to control the machine. Linux is and code based and CentOS is free. All community editions we do run on the CentOS only, not on the Linux Enterprise, Red Hat Linux Enterprise versions. So it is going to save money. Sudo mkdir MongoDB 10. If I run this command, if I run this command, it is going to create the directory. So before it is creating, it is verifying my password details, like are you authorized or not. So here, if I go and see this, I'll find the directory called Mongo 10. It got created. Why? Because I'm part of the sudo group. So how do I verify I'm part of the sudo group? Let me show that quickly. Sudo cat etc sudos. If I read this file, see if you read this file, and my name will be there as Ravinder in this directory. As this root user is here. The cat etc sudos just not. Come on, I have to use the sudo. Only sudo can admin can read that one. So it is not loading everything. Why not? My name should be there in this. Includer etc sudo dot d. Is it so? Which directory? You only read that directory itself. Cat etc sudos. Come on, I need this. This sudo is mandatory. Where is my Ravinder user? It should be root is here anyway. Okay, let me go. If it is not showing all, vi etc sudo vi. I'm going to the editor shell to see that everything is there or not. Kind of sudo or just I'm verifying I am part of the sudo or not, guys. Right. If you see, this file is not completely loading there actually, but if you see, it is a big file basically. So if you see, my name should be included somewhere. Where is this Ravinder? Somewhere it should be. Without that, I cannot refer to the admin privileges. I would have added at the top of it, I guess, somewhere. Where did I add my name? Is it? Why it is not showing? There should be somewhere. It is definitely added. Root. Yeah. Do you guys see Ravinder anywhere here? Root is given, and Ravinder also should be there. That's why I could do the sudo over. If I'm not part of this group, you cannot do it basically. That does not mean the comment. How come it is not showing my user details? It should show field and root. Okay. So example, let me do this work quickly. So see guys, I have created Biren, right? Already I created Biren. Just quickly verify this way. LSFN, if I go to where I am right now, into my into where directory. If I go to home directory, Biren is here. He is a valid user, but he cannot connect at the moment because you don't have a password. I'm going to set the password sudo, okay, psswd Biren. I'm setting the password for him. Password, I'm going to give it some password for him. Right. So now I'm going to connect using the Biren to this machine. He can connect and give the password for his account. So when I'm connecting to the first time, this tool will ask you one thing. Do you want it to save the password for this user? Yes. If I do yes, it will not ask the password anymore. So now where I landed into home Biren. This is what under Biren home directory, you don't have any directories. You wanted to create some directories, mkdir test file, test log, something. You wanted to create some directories. You can create. You can do anything under his home directory. You wanted to create some files, touch file 1, file 2. If you see under his home directory, he created 2 directories, he created 2 files. But when he go out of his home directory, he cannot, either he should have a sudo permission or else he should own the directory. 2 cases he can modify out of his home directory. So now if I go back df-h, okay, I'm entering into the var directory. This is var. If you see here, cd var lsfnl, there are many files. If he is trying to do mkdir mongodb20 example, I'm trying to create a new directory, it will throw permission denied. Instead of that, what I'll do, I use a sudo for the Biren. Biren is part of the sudo group basically. If he's trying to do that, I'm giving his password, it will validate. Biren is not in the sudo file. The incident will be reported. It is verifying that you are part of the sudo group or not. If you are part of the sudo group, then only it will create the directory. See guys, the OS is actually restricting you not to create the directories where you are not authorized. Biren is not authorized to create the directories under the var directory. Is not owned by him. And also you don't have, he's trying to use a administrative privilege, but he's not the part of the admin. He's not part of the admin. That is what it is throwing the error. Okay. Mongo 20 something. It is throwing the error just because he is not part of the admin. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make him part of the admin quickly. We can do that. Sudo vi etc, sorry, etc sudo vars. If I run this, what I'll do, okay, you go to insert. No need to worry, we're going to talk about this. So this is another file. Okay. So here I'm going to add Biren. So I'm just copying. So highlight this, it will get copied automatically, and shift insert. So just highlight the, what you wanted to copy, just highlight. That's enough to copy. No need to use the control C, highlight and shift insert. It will paste. So now what I'm doing here is I'm adding Biren. So Biren is administrator now because he got added to the sudo group. So now I'm going to add this. So now Biren is trying to create the directory. So the same directory LSF and L, MongoDB 20 directory is not there. You have MongoDB, MongoDB 10. Biren is not into his home directory. Now he is trying to create a directory mkdir MongoDB 20. It won't create because he's not referring his admin privileges. Now I'm going to refer his admin privilege sudo. Here it will create the directory. Why it will create the directory? Because he's a part of the admin group now. He is part of the sudo group. Is able to do that. So that's how you are a normal user, admin user. If you are a normal user, you can only work with your home directory. Other than home directory, you cannot work on other directories. Other directories you can work if you own it explicitly. How do you own? That's something we're going to see. Someone is not on mute actually. Here some admin. Priyanka, can you mute it yourself if possible? You can type your question if you have. Right. I'll mute you. I'm muting you, Priyanka. If you have any question, just type me. I'll pick up the point. Right. So why I'm discussing all of these guys? Normal admin group user has the differences in the Linux. Normal user can only do anything under home directory. Other than that, he cannot do. He can do if he own the directory. How he can own the directory is tomorrow topic. And normal users can manage only things under their home directory. So now we discussed about PWD. What is present working directory? What is LSF in L and LSF in LA? Three commands. Those are important to know. Make directory also we have seen. Make directory means just creating the directory, nothing else. Just I wanted to create a directory. So PWD. So where I am right now, home. If I wanted to enter my see example, just let's do this quickly. This is also important thing again. Home Ravinder into my home directory. Ravinder is the connected user where I am into my home Ravinder directory, home directory. I can do anything here. So if I do here, see, there are multiple directories we have. This is also a directory. If you see, this is a directory. Now, if I go inside the directory, I'm inside the directory now. If I see the PWD, home Ravinder, this is the directory. If I see LSF and L again there are these many things. So this is one directory we have. The rest of the all files. Again, if I go inside the bin, PWD. So where I am right now, home Ravinder, all of this. So if I do LSFNL, there are many, like binaries here. So now I'm into somewhere in the directory. I wanted to directly get into my home directory by default, wherever I am. It doesn't matter where I am right now. Use CD, just use CD and enter. You directly will land into your home directory, wherever you are. See, CD is something used for the change directory, call directory. If you supply something here, it will go inside in it. So if I'm giving here cd var, so I'm telling that go to the var directory. It is in the var directory. Now if I wanted to go to my home directory with from wherever I'm connected, I don't care. So under var directory, this is also there. So cd and this one, come on, what it is saying, it's not directory. Where I am right now in the var cd, oh, MongoDB, right? MongoDB directory. LSFL. I'm just don't worry about this. I'm just showing that if you wanted to move to your home directory, what you can do. So I'm into some of the directory where MongoDB backup. This is where I am. If I just use CD and enter, where I landed into my home directory by default. So if you wanted to move to your home directory wherever you are, just CD and enter. That's it. Don't call the directory after it. If you use the call the directory after something after this, then it will take you to that directory basically. If you just give CD, it will do that. So now if I go inside in it, okay, I wanted to read the data from the remote directory. It is possible. Remote directory means LSF and L is giving the file details where I am right now. Where I am right now in the home directory. Under my home directory, all of these are there. So no, I just wanted this LSF and L. I wanted to read the file under var MongoDB. Under MongoDB, what I have, I'm not connected to var MongoDB now, but still from here I can list out the files which are there under the directory. So you can read the files under the remote directory and the local directory. Local directory means just use lsfnl, that's it. If it is remote directory, you use the complete details after that, like where MongoDB kind of. Under var directory, MongoDB directory, what is there on the remote disk? You can read that. You can read that because you're instructing to the command, do the listing of the files under this directory. You're instructing it. So it will go inside this directory and list out the files. If you don't do that, it will look for the current directory where you are connected. That way it is. Listing the files is very important for us. We do every day in and out of. And PWD also very important. You do every minute if you are working with the Linux, because you need to know where you are connected before you do the action. And directory, creating the directory is also very usual operation we have to do, because we create our own directories for the product and we do a lot of things anyway. Where do we create the directories? We will see in the product when we start. We are at the OS basics. You need to know about the make directories, mkdir, that's it. Mkdir, it is creating the directories. So maybe what do we call MongoDB, Mongo. I'm just creating one directory just for the discussion. Mongo DBA1. Okay, so lsfnl MongoDB1 is there. I'll go inside the MongoDB1. MongoDB, just I'm going to create a situation here. So where I am right now, into my home directory MongoDB1. So I'm creating the make directory again, mkdir log test directories. Touch, I'm creating empty files, file1, file2. So if I look at here, there are some files in it. So I'm in the current directory, home Ravinder MongoDB1. There are files and directories. Now come back to the home directory, lsfnl. There is a command called remove directory. We created directory, good enough. See, we have seen this cd, change directory or call directory. Now let's see the remove directory. This is very, very important and very dangerous command in Linux. If you are removing something, you have to be 100 times careful. Don't do without any confirmation. Removing something, it is going to single command rf directory, it is gone forever. You have to be very careful when you are doing it. So there is something called remove directory. Remove directory command will work if you don't have anything inside the directory. It is empty directory. Example, what is that? Temp is an empty directory. If I do this, remove directory temp, it is gone. It is gone because there is nothing in it under temp. So if I go to data directory, let's see, cd data, and if I go inside in it, there is nothing under the data directory. There is nothing means it is empty directory. So I'll go back a directory back. See where I'm connected to, home Ravinder data. I wanted to go one directory back. In Windows, what do you do? If I connected to here and something here and here I am into. So if I wanted to go one directory, I'll click on this. If I go to one more directory back, I'll click on this. Like that, you can go one by one back. But in the Linux, what you have to do, you have to do cd dot dot. If you give this one, it will take to one directory back from the current directory, one directory back, pwd lsfnl. This is where I am. So the data directory is empty. There is nothing in it. We verified it. So if I do rmdir and data, it will delete. But there is something called MongoDBA1. It is not empty. We added two directories, MongoDBA1, LSF and L. We have some directories under the MongoDBA1. So if that is the case, I'm going back again one directory. Okay. If I see here, this is the directory. I wanted to remove this. Can I remove using the rmdir MongoDBA1 hit? It is throwing the error. Fail to remove. Why? Directory is not empty. So rmdir will be used to delete the empty directories. If a directory has some data in it, you cannot use rmdir generally. We use rm-r. R means recursive. Go inside the directory MongoDBA1 and go to the subdirectories, go to the child directories, whatever you have inside in it. Delete everything within the directory and delete the directory at the end. See what this is saying is remove recursively go inside this directory, and there is two directories we created. The two directories test and log, two files we created. It will go to the test directory inside in it. If you have some files inside the test, inside the log, it will go and delete the child directories, child files first, then parent directory at the end, the actual parent. It will delete everything. So you have to be very careful. Why? Because you might intended to delete one file, but you're deleting the whole directory. It is possible people do the mistakes, but is unrecoverable mistake. Absolutely unrecoverable mistake. So be careful when you're working with the RM or RM directory. You have to be 100% sure. If you do wrong command, you're gone on that day. Your job will be lost almost. Why? Because you deleted the so important data, and that is going to bring down the downtime. Maybe you have the recovery because you have the proper backups, but still there is a downtime. Data recovered, still downtime is not accepted during the live operations. So if I hit this, the directory is gone. MongoDB-A1 is gone because we are telling to the system, go inside the MongoDB-A1 recursively and delete everything whatever is there inside in it. So empty directory, you can use remove directory rmdir directory name, it will delete it. If the directory has some data and content in it, you cannot remove it. You definitely have to use rm-r MongoDB-A1. So that's what you have to see here. mkdir removes the directory. Be careful when removing the directory or files. To remove non-empty directories, use rm-r and directory name. That is what I was saying it. This is what I was referring to exactly there. And move, let's look at this. So move will work in two ways we can use the move basically. See, I have file 1. I wanted to rename. So mv file 1. I wanted to make it to file 20. File 1 I wanted to rename as file 20. So if I hit this one, LSF and L, file 1 will become as file 20. File become will, we are renaming the file. In Windows, what do you do if you wanted to rename something? Basically, you go to here, you rename and then enter the name what you wanted, right? The same way in the Linux, if you wanted to rename a file, we use a move option. MV means move here. So it became file 20. Now file 20 to file 30. I wanted to make it. This is the old file name. This is the new file name basically. File 20, file 30. So now you see this, the file got renamed from 20 to 30. This is something, if you have the files within the directory, you can do it. If example, I wanted to move this file from here to under log directory. So if I go inside the log directory, if I see here, I don't have anything under the log directory, home Ravinder log. I don't have anything at all inside the log directory. So I'll come back one directory back, cd dot dot. Okay, pwd, I'm into my home directory. Again, if I see, these are the files are there. Now I wanted to move the file 32 log directory here. I'm moving it. Move. Okay. File 30. Where I wanted to move? Into the log directory. You're giving the log directory. Move log is given here. If I do this, what it is going to do? File 30 is gone. Where it is gone? See, as this log is a directory, it exists under the current directory where I am. The file 30 is moved to here. So if it is cut paste kind of thing, guys. Call log directory, and if you see lsfn-l, it is moved the file here automatically under the where we are right now under the home directory log. So move will be used in two different scenarios. One is renaming the file within the directory. I'm into home directory. If I see here, this is where I am right now. If you are moving within the directory, mv example, I have a log example, log, let's see, does it do log 10, log directory to log 10. I'm renaming it basically. So log directory became log 10. You can rename the directory, you can rename the file, whatever you wanted to do. Even in the Windows also, if you wanted to rename, right click and rename the file or directory. Both will work in the same way. Same in the Linux also. If you wanted to rename move will be used, but both has to be in the same directory. Both has to be in the same directory means log 10 to example, log 10 in the same directory. I'm making it as log 20. It will be done, log 20. But now move, I'm using file 2, file 2. Okay. I wanted to move to, maybe I wanted to move to somewhere, anywhere I can move it. Maybe under this directory. I'm giving it the directory. If I give this one, what happens? The file is gone. And gone means in the current directory, it is not there anymore. Where it is now, it is under this directory. CD, oh come on, I went into my home directory. Okay, now I'm into home directory, right? Plus FNL, right? So Mongo directory, if I see, go and see, the file is moved to here, the file 2. So try to follow this, guys. Move will be used in two different situations. One is renaming a directory, so rename a directory, and moving a file or a directory from current directory to target directory. You can do all of this basically. Okay. So move will do two things, not one. Renaming a file if it is within the directory. You wanted to move a file from one directory to other directory, cut paste. In Windows, what happens? If I cut this, if I paste it somewhere, the source will be deleted and the target it will be there. Cut paste, which is equivalent to. So you are cutting and then pasting on the target. You guys following actually? Confusing or following? Everyone following, right?
Following.
Yeah. These are very basic we are talking today. Very basics, right? So now again, where I am right now into this directory, I wanted to go one directory back, cd dot dot. So now if I go to, I'm into my home directory. That is about the move, and there is something called copy. See guys, this first slide is over. We know what is PWD. PWD means reading the present working directory. PWD, if you will give you where you are connected. LS will give you the content of the current directory. And if you wanted to read the remote directory, ls-l and mention the remote directory, it will go to the remote directory and list out all the files. That also we have seen. And we have talked about make directory. Like you wanted to create a new directory and you wanted to create a home directory, out of home directory, what do you need it? Permissions will come into picture. And the call directory where you wanted to move, like from current directory, you wanted to move to different directory, call directory and give the target directory. It will move to there. Remove directory, if it is empty directory, it will remove. If it is non-empty, you have to use rm-r. And the move will be used to rename a directory or file within the directory. If you wanted to move to different directory, use the move, the source file name and target directory. It will move the file. That way it is. So let's come to here. We have seen ls already. We have seen ls. We already seen touch. What is touch actually? Touch is a file. It is a command to create empty files. See, we deal with a lot of different files as a MongoDB in the Linux. We use the CSV files. We use the JSON files. Someone is not on mute. Yeah, Priyanka, can you go on mute if possible? I guess we could hear some background sound. I'm muting you. Just let me know if you want to. Just ping me if you want me to unmute you. Anyway, so in as a MongoDB, we deal with the different files like CSV files. We deal with the JSON files. We will deal with the TXT files. We will deal with the log files. We deal with the data directories. We deal with a lot of different file systems in the MongoDB. No need to worry. That's something I'm going to explain in detail of it. So you wanted to create a empty file, just normal empty file. So pwd lsfnl touch is something, a simple command. It will create an empty file, and that empty file can be a normal file, text file, log file, JSON file, CSV file, whatever you wanted to create, you can create. Touch. Okay. I'm just creating a JSON file just for the sake of discussion. File.json. JSON file means just extension. That's it. It is created. If you go and see, JSON is given. JSON is something. It is JavaScript notation. We're going to see that. And I wanted to create a one CSV file. Touch. Okay, file one.csv. CSV. CSV means it is like Excel file. In the Linux, it is like an Excel file. LSFNL. Each file extension is a different purpose we use in the background when it comes to the product. So CSV is a different file, JSON is a different file, and we know the TXT files. Touch file 3.txt. So if you go and check this one, txt file got created. Every extension make different sense in the background. We're going to see that. But using the touch, you can create any file that you wanted. Just touch file 4. I'm not giving any extension. Still, it is a file. It is a file. It got created. So what are the files you wanted to create? You can define using the touch. And each file extension has different meaning in the background. We're going to see what is the meaning of CSV, what is the meaning of TXT, what is the meaning of JSON. We're going to see in terms of product point of view. Product point of view, this makes difference. But OS point of view, there is no difference at all. OS point of view. Product point of view, yes, there are differences regarding to this. Okay. Just a minute, guys. Someone is calling the bell. Just a minute. Sorry, guys. Sorry for that. So here, right. So touch is something, it is a small command. You can create any kind of file, and any kind of file, there is a file for extension. That file extensions generally make sense, different sense for product. Basically for MongoDB, each file will be processed in a different way. CSV file will be processed in a different way. JSON file will be processed in a different way to load the data into Mongo. We're going to see that. But for now, touch is a small command to create a empty file. The file format can be anything. It doesn't matter. It will just create that file format automatically. That's what about the touch, nothing else. It creates the empty files, whatever it is. Then VI editor. This is something very important to all of you to understand. VI editor. Editors. Especially we use the VI editors most of the time for doing configuration files or changing anything or reading anything. You wanted to change something, go to the VI editor. That is what we do. Sorry guys. So what is VI editor? So this is a mostly and widely used editor Editor means what? Changing something, content of the file. It can be anything. It can be JSON file, CSV file, any file, doesn't matter. It is an editor. It can go and edit any file that you wanted. So now there is a command called cat. Cat is a command to read the file. If you wanted to read example file1.tsv CSV, this is a file. Does it have anything? Sorry, file1. File name was wrong. So there is nothing at the moment. I'll go to vi file1.csv. It will open the editor automatically. Vi means CSV. CSV. It will open the editor like this. It will open the file. Whatever is there, the complete content of the file will be given. Right now, you don't have anything. That is why it is empty. So now, if you wanted to enter some data, go to insert mode. Insert mode, you have to click on the I. See, at the bottom, it turned into insert mode. So if I escape it, actually, if I escape it, I cannot do anything. If I wanted to enter into again insert mode, hit on the insert. So I'm writing some data. This is a basic file created for VI editor discussion. Something I'm writing like this. Okay, I'm saving it. If I wanted to save this, escape. First you have to do the escape and colon WQ. You wanted to save it to WQ. Without a WQ, just Q exclamatory, it is going to quit without saving it. So let me show all of that anyway. So now if I go and read this file, file1.csv, it has data. We entered just now, CSV. It has the data. This is a basic file created for VI editor discussion. So now again, I'll do it again, just for the sake of discussion. File1.csv. Okay. If I enter here, see here, it is what it is giving you. VI, the file name. This will open like this, and it is showing you the content of it. At the bottom, file1.csv. This is a file. It is giving the file name where you are right now. First line where you are at exactly at the 48th character at the moment, 48th, the character space. It is telling you first line. You're in the first line at the 48 character at position. It is giving you the position. Now if I hit I, if I wanted to edit anything, I should enter into the insert mode. If I wanted to enter into the insert mode, hit I. So it is turned into insert mode. If it is under insert mode, you can modify anything you wanted. So I intentionally wanted to some blah 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 data I'm entering it. So just for sake of discussion. So I entered some random data. Now if I wanted to save this, you are in the insert mode. From the insert mode, you have to come out of it. So escape. First press the escape, then colon must be given, then W is telling you that save what I entered. Q means quit. Q exclamatory means quit. Whatever is there, end this file. Escape colon means end. Save this one and quit it. So if I run this one, if I cat that file again, file1.csv, you got this content. See, a lot of content. Now I'll do again vi, okay, file1.csv. What I'm going to do, see, I'm going to go into the insert mode to modify again. Insert. So I'm going to delete some data. Delete a lot of data. Now escape colon Q only without the double. What happens? Whatever the changes you have done on that file in the VI editor is not going to be saved. You have to use the double. So if I use this, let's say cat vi file1.csv, data is still there. I removed it. So if you see, it is reading content of complete content, but when I in the vi editor, I was deleted all of this content, but it is not saved because I did not instruct it to save. How do I do the instructed to save? Vi file1.csv. Now I'll insert again. I'll go insert mode. Okay, I'll go insert mode. If I wanted to I had deleted this unneeded data, like I don't need this data anymore, kind of. I deleted till there. Now I wanted to save this action, escape, first escape. See, it is in the insert mode. It is telling you that escape. It is gone from the insert mode. Then colon, you're ending that. What you are doing with this shell is, with this editor, is ending. You're ending it. And I wanted to save. Save means double. I wanted to quit it. Quit means Q and exclamatory together. Q exclamatory is going to quit the VI editor. And when you're quitting it, you're telling that save it. And colon means here colon, it's not semicolon, colon. Colon means you're winding up with your operation. I'm done. And when you're done, do you want it to quickly quit without save or save? That's it. We are use it at the end of it. So hit it. If I read that file, file1.tsv, data is deleted. So this is what you need to know, guys. Nothing else about the VI editor. Go just VI, just use the VI before the file. So if I go inside in it, so if I wanted to read a file, cat file 4 example, file 4, do I have anything? No, anything, I don't have it. File 4, VI file 4. Just use the VI before the file name. That's it. It will open the file again. It doesn't have anything. Enter into insert mode and then write whatever you wanted. That's it. Any file. You already have some content, WQ to save it. You already have some content, file 4. You already have the content. You wanted to again modify, just go to the VI and file name, guys. Whatever the file content you wanted to modify, and you should be authorized. Authorization, I'm not going to talk right now. That is something tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Two more classes on the Linux basic itself, because there are many things I'm going to pick up for the installation before I start the installation, because you need to know all of these basics to come with the installation anyway. So now cat is the VI is, that's all about VI. Just VI and the file name. You cannot edit the directory. You can only edit the file. Marvin's Marvin, what are you trying to say? Marvin, do you have a question? C means I didn't catch you, Marvin. If you have a question, let me know. Fine, anyway. Come on. Right. So that's all about a VI editor, guys. We will see further a lot about it. Can admin turn off the camera? It's showing the screen. Okay, Priyanka, can you turn off your camera? You can turn off. You have the option there. There will be an option, right? I mean, the screen will be occupied. Okay, thank you, Marvin, for letting me know on that. All right, VA editor is something. VA editor is something. If you wanted to modify some file content, you can do it. Then the last command for today is cat. Let's talk about this especially. What is cat? Cat is something reading a file. See, cat and file 4. If I wanted to read the content of the file, I had to use a cat. Cat used will be used in many directions basically. Let me show all of that. So if example, I wanted to create a new file, just a new file. Cat, just give the greater than symbol and file 5. I'm giving the file 5. Cat greater than symbol. It is going to open the file automatically and it will let you to write some data into it. Like this is a cat file for the discussion and we have created something. We have created something like this. Okay. And this is the empty, this is a sample file, something like this. And I'll go and control C. So now cat file 5. I'm reading it. Now we enter the data into cat 5. I'm reading it. We have this data. So cat can be used to create a file also, to enter the data also. It can be used, but you cannot modify the data using the cat. You can overwrite the file, it is possible. See, cat 5, cat file 4 example. Let's see this file 4. You have this data under the cat file 4. This is the data you have it. I don't want this. I want it to override with the new data. Cat greater than file 4. I'm giving it, I want it to overwrite that file. So now here it is entered into the text mode where you can enter the data. This is the demo file discussion using cat command. Something again. So now I'll see the control C. So now if I go and read file 4, so now question, cat file 4, see the data file 4 data is overwritten. If you see, I was reading the file 4, guys. File 4 having this data, file 4. Now the file 4 got replaced with this data. How it got replaced? Basically, I entered cat greater than file 4. What it is saying that if you have a file 4, already you have a file 4, override it. If you don't have file 4, create it. Create it and enter the data. It is giving you an option to enter the data. You never use the cat command like this for any reason, but you need to know all the possible usage of this command. That is the reason I wanted to pick up that area. So try to follow this. But we use this some reason sometimes. We're going to see that. So cat is something, if you have a file, the file called file 4, it is overriding it. If you don't have any file at all, maybe file 6 I don't have. File 6, if I'm trying to read cat file 6, it will throw the error. There is no file, kind of, no file or directory, nothing. So now cat greater than file 6. What it is giving is, it is giving an option to enter the data. So let me do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and also 7. So one more thing you have to remember. When you are on the last line where the cursor is, that's where it will end. I entered 7. 7 won't get saved. If I quit means control C. Cat input, I'm quitting it. So if cat input, so I entered 7, but 7 will not be there. This is also one more thing you need to know. So if I read file 6, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only, but not 7. Why? You quit the line 7. So whatever you write in that line, it won't be saved. Cat file, that also very important if you are working with cat for some reason. See cat again. If I go with the file 6 again, it will overwrite again. It will overwrite. I don't want to overwrite. I want it to append the data. Whatever the input I'm giving, that should append. Then go with the double greater than. Cat double greater than. It will not touch the existing data, but it will let you to add the data, append the data. This is called append. See, double arrow, single arrow means it will overwrite the file. Let's do it. Come on. See, file 6 has, just follow very carefully here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, cat just greater than file 6. I'm going to enter 1, 2, and enter exit. Now, if I read cat file 6 example, 1, 2 only, 1, 2. This file was having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it is 1, 2 only. Why? Because you have overwritten the file. Cat just 1 greater than will overwrite, but I don't I don't want to. Then go to the double greater than symbols and file 6. This will let you to append to the existing data. Directly it will open with the content. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, then enter, then do the save. I mean, quit that cat input format. If I go with 7, come on. If I go with 7 or 8 example, if I'm saving there, if I'm quitting the cat input there, 8 will not be saved. So you have to enter one more time and then save. And the last line, it should not be there anything. So now if I read the same file, it will have 1, 2. It will carry forward 1, 2. 1, 2 is not overwritten. See? 1, 2 is not overwritten because you said append. Whatever the input I'm giving into this file should be appended. It should not be overwritten. You guys following? This is useful. We are going to use these commands in the further. Cat, see, just cat is reading. Cat file name is reading the file. Cat greater than file, it is going to create a new file if there is no file. If there is a file, overwrite it completely because you are giving only one arrow. And if you are giving double arrow here, double arrow means double greater than and the file name, it will keep the content of the file as it is, but it is going to append the data to the existing file at the end of it by default. Are you guys following? You can read the data, you can create the new file or overwrite the file, you can append the data to the existing file. These three, are you clear? Say something.
Yes, sir.
It's clear, right? Okay, then let's move. You can even type the message, guys, if you wanted. I mean, if you cannot tell, you can type it. So now, cat will be used in a different other direction as well. We can use the cat in a different direction as well. What is a different direction means? Let's do this. See, cat. So before cat, let me clear the screen. LSFNL. You have these many files, and I have some content in the file 5. Content cat file 5. Let's see it. We have this content, and file 6. I have the file 6. This is the content. Now I wanted to override file 5 data or file 6 data on the file 5. I wanted to overwrite. So what I'll do, we can you do that. Cat file 6. Read the file 6 and redirect this output to file 5. Try to follow this. This is another important point. Cat file 6. File 6 is contain the data of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. File 6. File 5 is containing this is a sample file, this is blah blah, it is there. This is the content is there. What I'm telling to the command is read this output and send this output to here and override that whatever it is there, it will be gone. It will be gone. So if I enter this, if you read cat 6, cat file 5, both will give the same output. Again, this is very important. This we will use many times, especially file 6. Okay. And file 5 also, cat file 5. Both have the same output. Why? See, cat file 5 was having some text data, and the file 6 was having some numbers basically. Now both the files have the numbers only. Why? Because we set to the command cat file 6 and read this file and send this read output to this file. If there is some data, directly overwrite it. No, I don't want to overwrite now. I wanted to append it. How do I append data? So just use the same command again. If I use, see, cat file is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I run this command, if I run this command again, it will overwrite, but I don't want to overwrite. I want it to append. Append means this double arrow. So what does this will do? Whatever the content is there, it will pick up and add to this file at the end of it. It is not going to overwrite. If I run this command, what will be the output of the file 5? Can anyone tell?
It's going to be two series of 1 to 8.
Right, very good. That's correct. So cat file 5, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. So what you wanted to do, sometimes we have to merge the files, sometimes you have to override the files, sometimes you have to create an empty file with some data, like the cat is creating empty file and you wanted to add some data, it is adding you without the VI editor. We are not modifying any data using the command, cat command. If you see anywhere, we are not modifying, but we are overwriting it. Overwriting is possible, but using the cat command, you cannot modify the specified data. Keep that in mind. If you wanted to modify specified data, you definitely have to go to the VI editor, VI in the file name, and go to the insert mode, change it whatever you wanted, and save it. That is the way. Cat is doing, it is creating empty file and letting you to enter some data, and it is letting you to create an empty file with if you already have file, it will overwrite and take the new input that is there. If you want it to append, cat double arrows and file name, it will take the data and it will append to the existing file. It will not overwrite. That we have seen. The next thing is We are redirecting the content of the file to other file. When you are redirecting, you wanted to override the file or you wanted to append the file. Two things we have. When you're reading the file cat, like greater than files 5, whatever the content is there in the file 6, just add to it. Don't overwrite, because you're telling this double arrow. If you're giving this cat file 6 and cat file 5, file 6 data is overwritten on the file 5. File 5, whatever the data it was there, it will be discarded straight away. It is kind of deleting the file 5 and recreating the file 5 and sending the output to it, equivalent in the background. Deleting, recreating, and loading it. Are you guys clear on this? Everyone? If you're clear, last command for today is a tac. Tac, let's read this one. So what is cat is cat. If you reverse cat, what happens? So let me do this one better. Cat. I'm writing the file 10 just to make you understand what is tac. Cat file 10. What it does? What it this will do? Anyone? It will give me a option to. It will enter into the file. It will give me an option to enter the data. Line 1. I'll keep it. Line 2. Line 3. Line 4. Line 5. Line 6. Line 7. Like that. Enter. So now I'm saving it. Now if I read that file, file 10, the data is like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tac, it will read in the reverse order. See, if you reverse the cat command, what happens? It is a tac. TAC. See, TAC. Now file 10. There is nothing much no need to worry about this. It will read the file in the reverse order, bottom to up. See here, line 7, 11, 6, and 4, 5. It is reading the file in the reverse order. Cat will read as it is. Tac will read from the bottom line at the top. It will read the file in the reverse order. Nothing else. There is no much difference between the cat and the tac. If you reverse the cat, it will come tac. See, CAT, TAC. It is reversing. When it is reversing, data is also read in the reverse order. That's it. Nothing else you need to know about the tac. Is it clear? Everyone, it's clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Simple. So these are all I covered for today. Tomorrow I'll talk about the permissions. Especially permissions are very important. People who really know the Linux also, I'm going to add a lot of content to it. Different ways we can give the permissions. Permissions are important. We will talk few more basics here. We already discussed few commands. Anyway, I'll quickly finish this one. Enter into the permissions. Handling permissions are really important than this basic thing. Anyway, basics are also important. No need to worry. I'll cover in detail. If you follow all these basics, it is easy to manage the product, as simple as it is. You can manage everything. So what I'll do, anyone have any question? I'm stopping the video. Anyone?
No.
Okay, I'm stopping the video. So